This is the future.
You know, I should not be recording right now because I've a lot to edit. But on my last video, I was reading this tweet. It was a long thread. I'm not gonna read it again. This came across. Okay, so I went to look for the article. All right, so I found it. This is the article here from was it 8 years ago? The Guardian. Prince William was never in running for top Sandhurst honor. Court his. Okay. So all this, these people, the derangers, brought it up on themselves. If they knew, okay, I wasn't aware of all of this, but because they're marking Harry for receiving the award, and then knowing after they brought it up that how come Harry is not in the Sandhurst book, I went to look. The more that I dig up, the worse it is for him. If they knew all of this about him, why would they do that? And now there it is. I want to know more, and I'm looking and I find more articles. So I tried to archive it. So someone already archived it. It's on about a year ago. So I'm not going to do it again. I'll just copy the link and share it with you. But I want to read the article. So I'm going to read it and share it with you. So let's read it here because it's a little bit more easier in my eyes. When there's all this stuff on the side, it distracts me. Okay, so this is the title. Prince William was never in running for top Sandhurst honor. Court his. Former instructor at Military Academy tell trials of 4 Sons journalists that paper's 2006 story stating Royal was odds on win award for best cadet was incorrect. But all of this is documented, is in court document. The military don't play with this nonsense. And then for the derangers to go and my comment and putting, oh, how come Harry is not in the Sandhurst book and all of that? So I had to look and come to find out Sandhurst is almost like the, West Point. There's a lot of military schools in the U.S., but West Point I'm more familiar is in the East Coast. Okay, so let's read. It's by Lisa O'Connor, Tuesday, 27 January 2015. Okay, Prince William was not good enough to qualify for Sandhurst top honor, a former Army officer at the Military Academy has revealed at a trial at the Old Bailey. Lieutenant Colonel, retired, Roy Parkinson told jurors at the trial of 4 Sun journalists that the Duke of Cambridge was in the top third of his year, but was never in the running for the institution's coveted Sword of Honor. Parkinson told the court that a report in the Sun in 2006 was incorrect when it claimed the Royal was add-on to win the award, which is given to the Military Academy's best cadet each year, and in 2006, the year William trained at Sandhurst was won by a female colleague. Wow. So he's standing up for her. It was won by a female colleague. My God. It was never true. Quote Parkinson of the Sun's report, he was on the top third. To be in the running at all, you have to be a junior under officer, Parkinson said. There were something like 16 of them in William's year. Wow. And was, my goodness. And was Prince William ever one of those? Asked prosecutor Michael Perroy. No, said Parkinson. So he was never in it. Wow. My God. He wants to be first on everything. And then this is the nonsense that we're seeing that come out. My goodness. The retired lieutenant colonel was giving evidence at the Old Bailey where 4 Sun journalists are on trial over allegation they were involved in a pilot to pay public officials for stories. The 4 included the paper's royal correspondent Duncan Larcombe, denied the charges. Parkinson was an instructor at Sandhurst and acted as the spokesman for the academy in 2005 and 2006. He told jurors her security had to be beefed up at the military school when Prince William and Harry were in training. The trial heard earlier from a former Sandhurst instructor who said the institution prepared for the arrival of the princes with extra precaution but in place. These include what the judge called sham training schedule to act as a decoy, with the real programs printed out and circulated to a limited few. However, Parkinson said there were several attempts by members of the press to break into the ground. My God! To break into the ground, and one occasion when an Afghan refugee eluded security by hiding on a bus from Germany that was carried a football team due to play at the college. He jumped out of the bus in the middle of Sandhurst, said Parkinson. It was quite a shock. Parkinson told jurors Sandhurst knew someone was leaking the genuine training program because photographers will turn up on an exercise, including one in the Black Mountain, where they were staked out in very inaccessible area waiting to snap the prints. It was very worrying because we knew someone was leaking the training program. Will and Harry had their own security detail, but because we knew someone was leaking the training program, security had to be beefed up for everyone, not just on this exercise, but on them all, he said. Separately, the jury was told that Prince Harry was giving special treatment during his training at Sandhurst, being allowed to leave the campus to visit his girlfriend. In a witness statement, freelance photographer Andy Bush said he spent 8 days at the Bovingdon Camp, a military training ground in Dorset, in July 2006, a part of a watch team for the Sun. While in the area, I noticed that Prince Harry was regularly leaving the camp between 16 and 18 hours each evening, said Bush. Through a process of elimination, he worked out where Prince was going, leading to a story in the paper headline, "Guess where Harry's secret love nest is?" Okay, I think it will be of interest to some people, and that it shows that Prince Harry received special treatment and that he was allowed to leave Bovingdon Camp during training, said Bush. On trial are the Sun's deputy editor Geoff Webster and executive editor Fergus Sanahan, a paper's chief reporter John Kay, and royal correspondent Lacombe. All four deny conspiracy to commit misconduct in public office. The trial continues. All right, so there's more here. What is that? Probably to support the Guardian. Okay, so out of this, because now the U.S. is recognizing Harry's qualification, and then they're saying how come he's not in the Sandhurst book. But meanwhile, there's this story out there about him. And then there's this story of Prince William in trouble after losing gun. Okay, I didn't even bother going to it because I think I mentioned it on another video. But the key point here, around the same age, 24 years old, they both were doing completely something different. I raised that in that particular video. I don't know if the last video that I finished edit. But yeah, I don't know why the derangers went and, you know, saying all this stuff about Harry. When throughout his career in the military, all the articles were pointing out some of the positive thing Harry was doing. He was the top gun in Apache helicopter course. Some people were made for that, but they insist now, I don't know, now all of a sudden they insist he's not that good. But if he is, there's nothing for him to prove anymore. He already done it, and the British newspaper have already reported on those things, and we've seen them. And he's done his Invictus thing. So people have eyes and ears. We could see, we could hear everything that Harry has done. So I don't know why they're trying to compare him with his brother. So they're gonna get burned every time they try to do that. It's not like I'm sharing this out of, I don't know what any derangers might think, but they forced me to look into those things. One thing leads to another because I didn't know what Sandhurst was. I went to look and I found out it's similar to West Point. And through that, I found out there's a book that William, wrote some part of it, and he then gave his brother some credit. And then after another thing, we find he was losing his gun. He then get qualified to be at top class and all of that. So why are they inserting themselves in this aspect when they already know what William have done? You know, so that's it. Oh my goodness. So the link, I'll put both links, the archive one and the the Guardian one. Okay, because when I see all of this, there's just distraction. Okay, so that's it. I just wanted to share that with you.
I'd now like to introduce Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, who's a humanitarian, mental wellness advocate, environmentalist, and military veteran. As co-founder of Archewell, he is focused on driving systemic change across all communities through nonprofit work as well as creative activations. The mission across Archewell, which currently includes Archewell Foundation, Archewell Productions, and Archewell Audio, is united behind the deeply held belief that compassion is the defining cultural force of the 21st century. In fact, Prince Harry has dedicated his life's work to advancing causes that he is passionate about. He is the founder of the Invictus Games, a platform for wounded, injured, and sick service personnel to use sport as part of their rehabilitation, something I know a little about, as well as Travelist, a nonprofit entity comprised of several of the largest online travel agencies in the world. Additionally, he co-founded Santa Bali with his dear friend, Prince Seso of Lesotho, in memory of their mother's charitable work in combating the HIV crisis, and serves as president of the African Parks, a non-governmental organization focused on protecting Africa's ecosystems in partnership with local communities and governments. He was named Chief Impact Officer at Better Up, a world-class coaching platform that helps people everywhere achieve their own version of peak performance, and serves on the Aspen Institute Commission on Information Disorder, which brought together critical voices across public, private, and civil society landscape to respond to today's mis- and disinformation crisis. Prince Harry served in the British Army for 10 years, rising to the rank of captain and undertaking 2 tours in Afghanistan. And I must say it's been my absolute privilege to work with him. Prince Harry, over to you, sir.
Evolution. This is the future.